Welcome back. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is in Germany this morning, where world leaders are gathering for the annual Munich Security Conference. U.S.-European relations will be in sharp focus at this year's meeting, following President Trump's calls for a U.S. takeover of Greenland and effort to bring an end to the war in Ukraine. Before departing for Germany, Secretary of State Rubio said the world was at a defining moment right now.
The world is changing very fast right in front of us. The old world is gone, frankly, the world I grew up in, and we live in a new era in geopolitics, and it's going to require all of us to sort of re-examine what that looks like and what our role is going to be.
CBS News foreign correspondent Ramy Inocencio is watching this from our London newsroom and joins us now with more. Good morning, Ramy. So what is on the agenda at this year's conference, and does what the U.S. wants and this Rubio-described New World Order line up with what European allies want?
You know, I think it's a question of just following where they have to go in terms of their own solidarity for Europe in the face of this rising tensions with the United States over the past year. But I think the theme for this year's Munich Security Conference is very telling. In a report earlier this week, the title already is called Under Destruction. And they're saying that this is the post-war international order that is under destruction, that this is a period of wrecking ball politics, and that President Trump, they say, is now the most prominent of these demolition men. The top lines here very foreboding, as Europe's biggest defense forum each year does kick off in Germany. But as you mentioned, it's been downhill between the U.S. and Europe since this time last year. Vice President J.D. Vance veered away from that kind of unity, the expectation of the kind of stressing of collective defense, and then criticized Europe about free speech, about democracy, about ideology. We know now that Marco Rubio is going to be speaking tomorrow. Will he be as aggressive, though, or as critical as Vance was? The expectation is that he will not, as the top diplomat for the United States. But we did hear him there acknowledging that this is a new era. This does go on for 3 days. The questions now coming out of this, will there be, or to what degree will there be a balance on more European unity, while also balancing what they still need in terms of the White House and Trump's support for goals, for example, as it pertains to Ukraine and Russia's war there.
And Ramy, you kind of focus on another important point, was that the U.S. does need European allies in many of its goals. We know the U.S. is expected to send another aircraft carrier to the Middle East to counter Iran. What more can you tell us about that development?
Sure. That news being confirmed to CBS News by 3 U.S. officials. And this is the USS Gerald R. Ford. This is the U.S.'s most advanced aircraft carrier. And by that measure, it means it is the world's most advanced aircraft carrier. It's joining a second one already there, the USS Abraham Lincoln, in the region for nearly 3 weeks now. Together, there is this pressure on Iran, even more so. Their strike groups could mean something like 15 to 20 U.S. ships in the region. We're talking guided missile destroyers, faster, shallow water ships, and likely a couple submarines that aren't usually talked about because of their stealth capabilities. But all this a flex to amp up pressure on Iran to keep talking with the United States. And remember, just last week at this time, those talks restarted towards some kind of deal on Iran's nuclear program. They were in Oman. They were indirect. Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner, U.S. CENTCOM Chief Brad Cooper on one side, Abbas Araghchi, Iran's foreign minister, on the other side. Iran had signaled that that was a good start, but we have not yet heard, at least publicly, about a next round. But we did hear from President Trump overnight. He said that we have to make a deal with Iran. Otherwise, he said it's going to be very, quote, dramatic. He also said a timeline for Iran for any kind of deal could be over the next month. But no reaction yet. We're looking for it from Tehran about the Ford now headed to the Middle East, Errol.
Yeah, and we'll keep a close eye on this conference today. Ramy, thank you very much.